Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House. When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House show. This is where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. Thanks for joining us today. Well, I wanted to talk on our midweek special about heating and cooling and something that you should be really paying attention to as a homeowner out there. Because this is something that is making a big deal, and it's something that you better plan ahead for. Because here in the United States, and this has been going on in other countries for a long time. We just decided to play ball with it here over the last few years. But these new energy standards and supply and demand has made, and labor as well, we'll get into that, has made heating and cooling systems much more expensive. Now, a few years back, I put in a system into my house, 1977 house, 2 stories, 1,400 square feet, not a big house by any means, but it's just 2 of us, that's fine, not some big house. And I went with a very nice system. So I went with a top-end system, and retail price for that was about $22,000 installed. And it is even more expensive now. And so what we're starting to see now is because of energy savings that they are trying to push, as well as a lot of these new systems with new refrigerants and things like that are getting much more expensive. And of course, with our labor shortage, labor has gone up to the roof because we can't find enough people, and we're not training people in the schools to work in the trades. So things are getting very expensive. So right now you're getting ready to see, and we've talked about this in the show before, but you're getting ready to see some extreme rebates coming out here the end of the year, first to next year, depending on what state you're in, because this money from and I'm going to use air quotes because that's just what it is. We don't get into politics, but this is worth using air quotes. The Inflation Reduction Act, which is exactly what it wasn't, but we'll get into that at some other time. But they spent a ton of money, which kept our interest rates high, to put out these programs. Well, the government has figured out that it is cheaper to give things to homeowners, to swap out their systems, to give them incentives, than it is to create new power stations. So with all of our new electric things that they're trying to push us into, they're trying to make sure that we spend that money on reducing our energy usage, which that's fine. That's what they're working with here. And the problem is that things are getting more and more expensive. So you're starting to see rebates that'll be $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 coming back from your energy company on new heat pumps starting here later on this year and into next year, which is going to be a pretty good deal. But here's something that I want you to think about. If you are looking at having a new system put in, or your system is towards its end of its life, it's 15, 20 years old, you are going to have to replace that next time around. So I would take a look and make sure that you have things planned ahead, because this is going to be a significant investment. I think your heating and cooling system is now going to be as much money as putting a roof on or more, or putting in your, new siding and windows. So this is going to be a significant investment for you as a homeowner. So it's something you should be saving for. It is something you should have a plan for. If your system, but here's the problem we have out there with some of these low quality systems that are on the market. And I'm talking other brands, not the carriers, not the Trains, but some of these other kind of off brands. What you're seeing is people are saving money in 3 or 4 years down the road. They're having thousands of dollars of issues because of, compressor system problems and things like that. And then they're not going to be, they're going to be switching over the gases. So be very careful with what systems you get. And even more so now, I would be looking at name brand companies, which are very popular, and make sure that you're getting in those top tiers, because some of these lower quality systems are not being reliable because of the technology you're having to use in them. So be very careful on your system. And the other part is make sure that you're using a certified installer. One of the things that I have learned over the years is there are two big things when you're looking at a heating and cooling system. One is the brand that you're going to be putting in there. And the second one is the installer or installer group that's putting it in. Make sure that your installer is a certified person by the company. So if you go on to Carrier's website and you look at it there, make sure that you are working with a certified company that is certified to install those. And the same goes with any of these other things like that, where you've got it, make sure that you've got that certified individual working on it. That company is a trained installer, because so many times you're seeing kind of these chuck in the truck installers out there, and the installation is just as important as the system. So you want to see somebody that has been factory trained. But really, these systems are going through the roof. I think they're up 3 or 4 times what they were 10 years ago. So make sure that you have a budget for this and you're ready, because, it's one thing of doing some roof repairs to keep your roof going a little while longer. When your heating and cooling system is down and can't be put back to use, that's a big deal that you have to deal with. And I don't want to see you get hit for a $20,000, $25,000 system when you can't afford it and you're trying to put together, and now you're running space heaters or something like that. It's going to really hurt a lot of families. So make sure you're spending the time, budget for this, stay on your maintenance to get the most life out of it. Heating and cooling is really big, and it is something that I just want to see homeowners out there be very careful of, because this could be a huge deal moving forward. And with these new prices that we're seeing out there and the massive inflation with this, it's going to cost you a ton of money to replace it. So when in doubt, use these, if you have a heat pump and you're going to put another heat pump in, or if you have a gas furnace and you're going to put a heat pump in, use some of these rebates that are coming out. And they are geared towards more middle to low income people. So if you're in a higher income bracket, those rebates might not be there for you. But take a look at it and see, and stay on top of it, because there is some expensive repairs in the future for you. And sorry to be negative, guys, today, but it is something I want to see that is on your radar, because this is going to sneak up and bite you. And I want you to be at least informed, knowing that you should be putting some money away if your system is on its last leg. And like I said, get on that service plan and make sure people are out there servicing it so you can get the most life out of it. It's like doing the oil change in your car. Make sure as you're coming into winter, you get your service done. All right, everybody, we'll have a great rest of the week. Happy Wednesday. We got a great show coming up this weekend. We're going to be talking about my secrets to kitchen remodeling, as well as I've got a special guest coming in for hour number 2 that we'll talk about in our show tease a little bit later on. And this is going to be a fun one. Have a great rest of the week. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in to Around the House. We'll see you Saturday.
Undiscovered, anywhere beyond the mean. Life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G. from Around the House. Are you planning a decking or siding project this year? If you are, you've got to check out my friends at Millboard. Millboard is a completely different kind of composite decking and cladding that enhances outdoor spaces with enduring distinction. Hand-molded from the finest oak, it realistically mimics the natural grain and color of premium hardwood. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like plastic and instead real wood, check out millboard.com. Make sure and check out that interview we did just a few weeks back. That's millboard.com.